Hey, welcome back. And let me close the blinds. That was done on my completely forgot. So give me a second. Oh, better. All right. So Hunchback Hump Day. Hunchback Hump Day. Wednesday the 30th. So we have a new player in the group, and he wants to use his Alpha Strike box to the best of its ability. And definitely not picking on him. I'm encouraging him to be creative. He picked mechs he liked, picked variants he liked, and I'm just like, not at skill four. Not at skill four. I want consistency at skill if I'm playing clan mechs with guns. So without further ado, we're going to share screen. And before we share screen, let's take care of some housekeeping. I did a video way back about VTOL's target movement modifiers, and I got it all wrong. And I'm okay with being corrected. Matter of fact, I am okay with positive, constructive criticism, feedback with facts. So I wanted to make sure that I committed to giving this person their credit. And we were looking at Aegis Ghost, and he edited his combat, and he pulled out all of the pages from Commander's Edition. So thank you, sir. Anytime you want to comment, please do. He even put page numbers in there for target number modifiers and what have you, whatnot. So I believe that's epic. That way we don't have to argue about it when I go back to my local game group. The reason why I started that part of the conversation, and I remember looking at my notes, is that we got the +1 bonus wrong. I just never came back and corrected it, but thank you for bringing it up again. With that out of the way, I want to go to the new guys list. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get into it. So really quickly, he has 4 mechs, all clan, and a couple of off-ball tanks. Nothing wrong with this if you're playing training games, but I want him to hone in on his home plate of punishment. So I'm going to pop the PDF open because I just want to see it on paper. I've seen it on screen, but I don't remember if this pouncer jumps or not. Matter of fact, I don't even have to do that. But if this pouncer jumps, it becomes kind of a question mark on why it does jump. Okay. So my ADHD and me are looking at this list and it has a lot of potential. I want points back. So instead of demolishers, if I have Shreks, I'm going with SRM carriers at low skill, or I'm going to go ahead and just go pick up a couple of strikers. And I think for me that's a better use of points because now I have 15 points left. So the first thing I would do, because that Timberwolf is a basket case of firepower, um, I would move it up to skill 3. Now that's an expensive madcap, so we're gonna drop it down to skill 4. I'll take that. Can I get the Pouncer for 5 points? Not really, but close. So then it becomes a question of who can I give these 5 points of upgrades to? A Shrek. So I like what he's doing with just having static snipers. At the same time, we can tweak some things. So what I'm going to do is do what I do best. We're going to get rid of the SRM carriers and we're going to go for strikers. They're faster, they have a punch, they have indirect fire. They'll last just as long as a SRM carrier. I got 7 points left. So I can come over here to the Pouncer and get him into skill 3. So at least 2 of the mechs are skill 3. Now, I'm going to shoot this to him in a minute, I think it's all right. Me personally, if I needed 20 extra points, I would pick up 4 strikers. Heck, I wouldn't even pick up strikers. I'd pick up galleons. But I think they're in the mercenary box, if I remember correctly. Yep. So then I would turn around and bang, bang, bang. And because I want to toss rocks indirectly, I would bang, bang them up. And I think I can get away with a Shrek again. So we're going to drop 1 galleon and go back and pick up a Shrek. Or I could pop out a striker and get a demolisher. With cost, let's see, 34 points. Yep. Let's see if I got rid of you. I get you. Nope. Okay. I could get a. No. I could get a galleon. And we'll stay with the galleon for the sake of argument and get an LRM truck with an upgrade. So now he has 2 indirect shooters, a heavy hitter, fast moving spotter. All of his mech warriors are now upgraded. So that's what I wanted to do to show him a different light, and he could still have half of his super scary toys. 17 points could be a Hetzer at skill 5, or AC-20 Hetzer with an upgraded shooter. But there's different ways to look at it. So I'm not 100% worried about it. What I'm going to do is shoot him a list, and he can go through it at his own pleasure and time. And if he needs to borrow the vehicles, I got him. After we wrap this up, there's a couple of other keynotes of business that I wanted to get to. Um, just wait on the computer. So, rules, as we were talking about rules with the intermission and the segue, one of the arguments that my game group was having was, how do we stop your VTOLs and how do we stop your helicopters? And I'm like, flak, precision ammo, and what have you, whatnot. And then it turned into, but why do you always run 4 of everything? And I'm like, because I don't play with the AS350 rules. Um, there was a comment that was in one of the videos, and somebody was kind of adamant about saying you have more fun when you play with 2 units of something. Me personally, that's not how any of this works. For me, for you, if you play those tournaments and those events, great. Play those events. I'm not going. I will never show up. I'll show up and shake hands, talk, but I'm not going to play because that's not my jam. And that bothers me in levels that I just can't adamantly stomach where someone's going to limit my happiness. The conversation I was having, I have this conversation with my wife. And my thing is that and I explained it to her and she said it made sense. If I'm about to go get in, if I know I'm going to a fight and I want to get jumped by 3 people and I still go by myself, I deserve the consequences. If I know exactly who I'm fighting and what they're bringing to the fight, and I choose not to get help or come up with a plan to counter that, it's my fault, not their fault for wanting to jump me or have a fight. So I look at Alpha Strike the same way because I want to make sure I'm prepared. I want to be prepared. I don't want to be underprepared. I don't want to be overwhelmed. So when it comes down to how we play games, and this is just like a 40K argument when people used to complain about marker lights and Tau. Why do you have 3 squads of Pathfinders? Because they die instantly, and I want them to last more than a turn. I'm playing a game for my enjoyment. We are agreeing to play a game for our mutual enjoyment. I'm not going to downgrade or denigrate my army to give you an easy win or to make you feel better about yourself for not having a plan. That's not how this works. So, am I dissing the AS 350 rules or the tournament events? No. You want to play that? Play that. I'm not coming to the event to play that because it doesn't make sense when you start building not even meta correct, when you start building fluff correct forces. For example, if the Wolf Clan, wrong hand, if the Wolf Clan only showed up with 1 Timberwolf and 4 Dashers, somebody would have a complaint. If Clan Wolf got rid of the 4 Dashers and had 5 Timberwolves show up to a fight, somebody be complained. Did Clan Wolf listen to the complaints? No, they just shot you. So if I build a Draconis Combine list where I have 4 Behemoths that are super slow and just heavy .6 of armor, and I have 4 Grand Dragons that are quick but only do 2 points of damage, and that's all I bring to a fight, you have every opportunity to punish me for making that building mistake. The meta that I want the world to break up with when it comes to Alpha Strike is anything more than 2 units is too powerful. No, it's not. Peregrines, yeah. At medium range, it's a +7. Why? I get the bonus. I'm a TMM4 and it's medium range. If you bring somebody to skill 2, that's a 9. If you manage to sneak up next to me, it's a 7. Bring flak ammo. Bring precision ammo. Adjust your tactics to your opponents. Your opponents don't have to bend over for you. We don't have to break our list for you. That's not the purpose of this game. This isn't Monopoly. This isn't bully in a schoolyard, play by my rules or else. No, I just won't play you. When you make comments like that or you have that thought process, you predicate yourself to limiting your playing options both ways. If I bring 4 Grand Dragons with 5 armor, 5 structure, 2/2/2, and 10 inches at 40 points, it's a Grand Dragon from 3025. I'm not winning a firefight. I'm not going to complain when someone shows up with a Steiner Scout Lance of 4 Atlases. So my summation on that point is if you don't like it, go play with people that you can play with. Just don't leave the comments here. I'm not here for that. I played a game last Saturday where I had 12 Dragon 2s from Dark Age, where I had 12 Arrow 4 missiles per turn, homing or cluster. What did my opponent do? He adjusted. He punished me for bringing such a ridiculous idea in a 2,000-point game. That's kind of how life is. The American military doesn't say, oh, I'm only running 2 planes today. I don't care if we're outnumbered 20-1. No one says that. The American military in Vietnam brought divisions upon divisions of troops to fight in the jungles. The Vietnamese didn't play by the Americans' rules. They played to their advantage. They fought to their advantage. When you start comparing reality in a game, I'm going to side with the logic of reality versus your personal opinions of a game. Even if it's a game based on fluff, and none of these things exist in reality, but if I have a predetermined amount of fluff saying that, yeah, Draconis Combine will run a Lance of Dragons. Why? It's their flagship mech. Is it a great mech? No. But they would run a flagship group of them, 4 at a time. Blah, 4 at a time. Anytime you play any of the Mech Warrior games, there's always helicopters. Why? Cheap, disposable, mobile firepower. And we make lawn dart jokes out of them. But they handed you down an Alpha Strike. Not my problem. Play better, as my best friend would say. So, before we get too far into it, let me go ahead and pull up the community page for Battletech forums. Log in, and I'm going to quickly go over the rules discussions that we had, along with where we came up with some answers. So, nope. I need to go to the rules section. Alpha strike. Okay. So, one of the big arguments that we had in my group, and this is going to alleviate some of the how did we get here? Players in my group have been trying to figure out how do we knock down VTOLs. There is no clarification in the original printed rules of artillery hit airborne unit. And one of the situations that happened is that my VTOL was on the table. It's a pinned unit. I can't make it any taller or shorter. It's a 3-inch pin. So the unit was close to the building. He missed, it exploded, and drifted closer to the VTOL. So he said they're in an area of 1 point of damage, but they're above the building. So now you have it in black and white from a moderator. On page 48, area of effect damage, if it covers a unit is at a different elevation than the point of impact, the difference in elevation is added to the distance from impact. So a VTOL directly over a 1 inch, 1 inch directly over a 2-inch AoE would be affected. But a VTOL directly over would not. A 2-inch AoE is a diameter. So 2 inches away from the point of impact is outside the 2-inch AoE template. If using a long tom on the top of a building that is 4 inches tall, the 6-inch AoE will cover 3 inches directly in front of above the building, or a 7-inch elevation in total, but would not affect the landed VTOL 4 inches below the template's AoE. So we have to keep elevation in mind. That was an argument that went on for 6 months with my group. Now it's in black and white. Yes, I'll pin it in the description. And then the other issue was, can we get VTOL mods to fire? Why? Because I wanted to have yellow jackets with arrow 4s pounding people from a distance, direct fire. I came up with a better solution, tag and homing. But here's my situation. Base skill is 3, AoE's +1, artillery from air AoE's +1, artillery base +4, 9. So when tagged for indirect is 1, -1, it's still a 9 to hit. Indirect with a tag. So I need a 9 to hit up spot on the ground. Verified and it works. And we had in a question, it's 4. So when we went back to the other question, when you fire off a tag in Alpha Strike, the unit firing the tag has all the modifiers. The unit launching the missile only has to roll 4 better to hit. So those are the rules issues of the week. From me to you, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and the summer. So as always, life is cheap, mechs are expensive. I'm trying to find new ways to kill my opponents with cheaper resources. That's all, folks. So if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Have a great summer, y'all. For those of you who still have summer, those of you coming back to the classroom, I feel your pain. Good night.